In the course Risk Analysis and Management, today the topic of discussion is Pareto analysis. Pareto analysis is a tool that can be used in risk analysis and management. What is actually happening in Pareto analysis? We are separating the risk, the important risk or critical risk from the trivial or less important risk from a pool of large number of risks. So the essence of Pareto analysis is based on 20-80%. In Pareto, they say that 20% are the important stuff and the 80% are the less important stuff. If you address only 20% of most important stuff, then you can achieve a much better result. And sometimes you can even ignore the 80% less important stuff. So if we are dealing with risk, then this stuff has to be replaced with the risk, which means 80% 80% trivial risk has to be ignored, or you have to leave this 80% risk for some later situation to be handled, and you only focus on 20% most critical risk, and you have to address these 20% critical risk as soon as possible. The 80-20 rule in Pareto analysis says that 80% of the risk from the pool of large risk are contributing only to 20% of the results, or impacting only 20% of the results, whereas remaining 20% vital risk, they are contributing to 80% of the results, or they are impacting to 80% of the results. So this means the 20% vital risk are much more critical than the remaining 80% trivial risk. The discussion is summed up in the 2 bullet points. The first point is all about 80-20% rule, which means focusing only on vital few risks to achieve larger gains. Whereas as a whole, the Pareto analysis is a technique to focus on those risks which have significant impact on project. So we have to segregate the important risk from the trivial risk in the project, and we only have to focus on the vital or critical risk, and we have to ignore the trivial risk or less important risk for the time being. So let's move to the example so as to get on-hand experience with this Pareto analysis tool. Here is the illustration of Pareto analysis with the help of example, which is very much generic. It means that I haven't mentioned the risk type in detail. They're just A, B, C, D, E to F. I haven't mentioned what risk type A means, what risk type B means, C, D, and F means. Whereas the weightage, for example, risk type A has a weightage of 108, B has 87, C has 234, and so on. This weightage is normally identified by lower and the middle management, because the lower management and the middle management, the people from these two, they are very much involved with the people on the shop floor, on the ground level, who are actually exposed to the risk. If I can say that, if I'm using this example for the civil work or the people who are constructing the buildings, so the risk type A is dealing with the personnels who are actually doing the sanitary work. Risk type B are associated with the personnels who are dealing with the electrician work. Risk type C are dealing with the personnels who are actually doing the actual labor work, means handling of material, mixing the material, and then people who are actually constructing the pillars, floors, walls, ceilings. So as you can see that the weightage of the personnel who are actually involved in construction, who are directly involved in the construction, the weightage is very much high as compared to the person who are doing the electrician and the electrical work or sanitary works. Similarly, D can be something else, E can be something else, and F can be something else. So you have a risk type and you can identify the weightage against each risk type. And this weightage can be identified by the middle or the lower management. Next, what you do, you will have to sort it out, um, and you have to rank each risk type. For example, the highest weightage will become first, then after that uh, the weightage which is a bit lower than the highest, and then so on and so forth. So if you rank the risk type, then C will become 1 because the weightage is very much high, 234. A becomes second because weightage is very much high but lower than the C, which is 108. Then becomes B, the rank 3, which has the weightage 87. Then comes D, which is on the rank 4th, and the weightage is 13. Then comes E, which has rank 5 and weightage 7, and the last one is F. Sorry, the E has rank 5 and weightage 7, and the last one is F, rank 6 and weightage 4. Then what you will do, you will calculate percentage against each rank. So sum up all these: 234 plus 108, 87 plus 13 plus 7 plus 4, whatever the number is, you have to divide 234 by total number, and then you can get the average. Similarly, you have to do this average calculation for each rank or risk type. The last step is very much important, and you have to find a cumulative percentage. Cumulative percentage means that you have to copy this percentage, the first percentage here, and if you move to the second percentage, what you will do, you have to add 51.7 with this 23.8. If you add 51.7 to 23.8, it will come 75.5. If you move down, then you have to add 75.5 to 19.2, which is 94.7. If you go further down, then what you will do, you have to add 94.7 to 2.9, which is 97.6. Similarly, if you have to move down to rank 5, then what you do, you have to add 97.6 to 1.5, and the answer will be 99.1. The last one is very much critical for the verification purpose. If you add 99.1 to 0.9, the answer shall be 100, not more, not less. If it is more than 100 or less than 100, the cumulative percentage is more than 100 or less than 100 in the last ranked, then it means you have made some calculation, so you have made some error in the calculation, and you have to do the calculation once again. Now you have to plot these the results in the table in the Excel form. How you can do that, you can see in the next slide. So here is a plot. For the sake of convenience, I took the snapshot of the table mentioned in the previous slide, and this will act as a reference for us. As far as the chart is concerned, the x-axis, it includes the risk type according to the rank. So C is rank 1, A is rank 2, B is 3, D is 4, E is 5, and F is 6. The left hand side of y-axis, um, it contains the weightage of risk. So as you can see, C has weightage of 234. So here is a 234. A has a weightage of 108. B has weightage of nearly 87. So nearly 87. D has weightage of 13. E and F has weightage 7 and 4. So same, this bar represent the weightage against each risk type. So the right hand side of y-axis, it represents cumulative percentage from 0 to 100. So what you will do at first you have to draw the bars against each weightage of risk type, for example C, A, B, D, E, F, and then you have to draw a horizontal line parallel to x-axis. Where you have to draw this line? So you have to see the cumulative 51.7. So you have to draw a line at 51.7, horizontal line parallel to x-axis. Second line you have to draw at 75.5. Draw a parallel line to horizontal axis. Third line will be cumulative 94.7. Then comes 99.1, and the last one is 100. So you have to draw these lines, and then next step is you have to mark some points. For example here, so when this 51.7 horizontal line crosses the C risk type vertical line, you have to mark a point on it. Similarly, when 75.5 horizontal line crosses the A risk type, then you have to mark a point on it. Similarly, when this 94.7 horizontal line crosses the B risk type, then you have to mark a point on it. Then comes 97.6 horizontal line. When it crosses the D risk type, you have to mark a point on it. When 99.1 correspond to E, so if this 99.1 horizontal line crosses the E risk type, you have to mark a point. And the last one is the 100. So you have to mark a point against the F, which is on the top. The next step will be you have to connect these points which early mark by the black line. So point on the C to point on A is connected, point on A and B is connected, B and D is connected, D and E is connected, and E and F is connected. Once you have got this, then according to Pareto rule, 80-20 rule, what you will do, you will draw another horizontal line parallel to the x-axis at 80% cumulative. So 80% cumulative, when it cuts the line which drawn earlier, the black line, then you have to draw a perpendicular on the x-axis. So I will repeat it again. According to Pareto 80-20% rule, what you will do, you have to draw a horizontal line on 80% cumulative. When this horizontal line crosses the black line which you drawn earlier, then what you will do, you have to draw a perpendicular on this x-axis. So whatever on your right hand side, you have to encircle it. So you have to encircle this risk type, and these two risk types C and A are the vital few, and the remaining B, D, E, F, they are trivial many. So you only have to focus on these critical risk or vital risk, which are the category C and category A, and the remaining risks are not much important as compared to these two risk types. So by Pareto analysis, 80%, 80-20% rule, you can um, segregate the critical risks from the trivial risk. So that's all from the today's lecture. If you have any sort of question or queries related to any point, then please ask it via WhatsApp group or Google Classroom. Thank you.